Many of you, as a matter of fact, may have seen the trending video of the Vice President of the Federation, Alhaji Kashim Shetima, during a public presentation of a book that was written by Mohammed Bello Adoke, a one-time, or rather a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, on a book he titled OPL 245, The Inside Story of 1.3 billion naira Nigeria oil block. During that remark which the Vice President was making during that public presentation, he maintained categorically, while referencing a past incident when he was the governor of Borno State. In clarity, he alerted Nigerians again, home and abroad, that there is no president, according to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that has the power or the capacity to remove a sitting governor. He narrated his ordeal when the then former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Mr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, tried to remove him from office as the former governor of Borno State, which, as a matter of fact, happened between the year 2011 and 2015. Listen to Kashim Shetima.
The last 4 years of the Jonathan administration, I was the most demonized person. I was the public enemy number one. And there are two gentlemen seated here. Certain decisions are taken in a very rare peace cycle. The President, the Vice President, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. In one of such conclaves, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan GCFR, with whom we have shared the sword and have now recalibrated our relationship, was mooting the idea of removing this Borno governor, and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, had the courage to tell the President that, Your Excellency, you don't have the power to remove an elected councillor. The President was still not convinced. He mooted the idea at the Federal Executive Council. I admire Mr. Mohammed Bello Adoke fundamentally for his courage and for his convictions and for his capacity to stand for what he believes in. He told the then President that, Mr. President, you do not have the power to remove a sitting governor, not even a councillor. They sought for the opinion of another SAN in the cabinet, Kabiru Turaki, who said, I am concurring with the opinion of my senior colleague. That was how the matter was laid to rest, but that was how my relationship with Mr. Bello Adoke and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal became eternally sealed.
From this very video, I sincerely respect the brevity of the Vice President of this nation, Senator Kashim Shetima, for reciting this very past incident, which I can tell you illuminates further on what we have stood for in this country: rascality and lack of rule of law, from the current APC-led administration under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I respect his courage so much for coming out straight to cite this very example, irrespective of the fact that he is part and parcel of the current cabinet of Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That goes further to juxtapose what we stood for earlier when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was trying to remove Sim Fubara from office. Very unfortunately, we live in a lawless country where many of the important parastatals, the three arms of government, have been duly captured. It was the House of Representatives who rushed and gave the approval for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to remove Fubara Later, the Red Chamber, the Senate, also gave their own approval seamlessly, as if it was a family meeting where there are no distractions. At the end of the day, they disagree to do what? To agree. There were no disagreement. History being so kind today on Kashim Shetima, he re-narrated that very incident, which many Nigerians, many people do not know. Mohammed Bello Adoke was the Attorney General of Federal Republic of Nigeria between the year 2010 and 2015. And by implication, he was the Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Minister of Justice when this very incident, when Goodluck Jonathan wanted to remove Kashim Shetima as a result of the insurgency, the Boko Haram activities going on in Borno State, a grievous incident that could have warranted truly a state of emergency by, in all ramification. Unfortunately, you cannot compare what happened in Borno to what happened in Rivers State that warranted Bola Ahmed Tinubu declaring state of emergency and consequently removing, Sim Fubara from office. Now you heard it from the horse's mouth. The Attorney General of the Federation told the President, you do not have the power, not even a councillor, to be removed from office. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Alhaji Waziri Tambua, was also, courageous enough to tell the President, if you begin to look at it from other lights of, what is happening in the Nigeria political hemisphere, you may begin to say that the northern part of Nigerians are more united in politics, probably than any other part of Nigeria, because these two prominent persons that spoke in his favor are all from northern extractions. Now, in the case of Sim Fubara in the Nigeria of today, in 2025, where many countries are adopting, the principles of true democracy to bring transparency to governance, unfortunately, in this same 2025, 21st century, voices were captured, voices were placed on hold, competent men and women in authority were placed in a mute mode. Even the Attorney General of the Federation in the Nigeria of today and the Minister of Justice, His Excellency Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, you can go and fact check what he said about Bola Ahmed Tinubu removing Sim Fubara from office. That tells you, or rather, this goes further to juxtapose and buttress our earlier postulations and submission that we live in a state capture. This current administration has captured every parastatals in Nigeria. They simply want every Nigerian to become a deaf and dumb. Whatever they say, you agree. The moment you disagree, you become an enemy. And that is why they continuously, on daily basis, attack whoever that tries to make any meaningful contribution or constructive criticism of the government. The moment you do it, they tag you an enemy. It is quite unfortunate, and I can tell you, we are never going to make any significant headway in this orchestrated, autocratic, military style of governance masquerading as democracy. It is not good for any nation, and I've said it before. More so, one thing you have to keep at the back of your mind as a take home from this whole video of Kashim Shetima is that all is not well between Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shetima. Yes, this very video of the Vice President goes a long way to confirm some of the public speculations we have been having over time now, that there is a lot going on and that possibly that the President might not be, carrying Kashim Shetima along, for his second term bid come 2027. And beyond that, Kashim Shetima's courage, to have cited this example, stating in clear terms that no president has the power to remove a sitting governor, not even a councillor. His courage to have cited this example will show you that there is a fundamental problem already going on between him and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his, extraction or camp of the APC. Why do I say so? Kashim Shetima is part of the administration that just removed Sim Fubara from office. So he knew the implication of what he just said, even before saying it. So if everything is well between him and Tinubu, he won't cite that example because two cannot work except if they agree. It simply shows that Kashim Shetima and Tinubu are not working together, whether you like it or not. And I've said it before. I said I felt sorry for Sim Fubara because no matter how good you may be, when you live in a corrupt society with corrupt leadership, with corrupt leader, that is what you beget. You'll be overwhelmed. And if you are not careful enough with your integrity, you may submit to the whims and caprices of your oppressors. And that is what has happened to Sim Fubara. In order for him to finish his tenure, he has submitted to his oppressors to become that errand boy they actually want him to be. And you saw what is trending on the internet space all over the time. They had that, reconciliation meeting with the president. Some of the fallout was that he's not going to contest for second term. Who does that in a democratic dispensation? Yet many of you are rejoicing. Sim Fubara was disobedient and all of that. Now, tomorrow you will still go to American embassy to get a visa to run away from Nigeria. Next tomorrow you will go to Canadian embassy. Why are you running if Nigeria is truly working for you? That is why I often, argue that we do not actually have Christians in Nigeria. I'm sorry to say that. We have some, but there are very few of them. We don't have Christians, not even in Islam. We don't have people that love God and serve Him in spirit and in truth. People are serving God with conditions in this part of the world for their own personal gain. If He favors you today, it is the will of God. If He does not favor you, it is not the will of God. It is crazy. We will continue to speak, unfortunately, until Nigeria as a nation begin to see the light of the day. At this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. May another person see am. God bless you.